Hey, this is Yusu from Hemmingbirds. I'm the singer and guitarist and violist.
My name's Tim. I'm a singer and guitarist in Hemmingbirds.
I wanted the album to be shaped like Radiohead's The Bends, where it's like pretty rockin' and like fairly anthemic, and then it's got a really good pop sensibility and good vocal melodies, and like stuff I did before, it would get like pretty experimental, but I wanted to like kind of kick it back and make it somewhat experimental, but mainly accessible, and have like a very strong like pop root to it. So I guess I listened to that. I was listening to the Beatles' Revolver just to get a track listing feel, and I don't know. I guess like some sort of other like pop experimental feel, because that's like when we started breaking new ground. But at the same time, it was still like pretty short songs, like 2.5 minute, 3 minute songs. And then I was also listening to like halfway through the album, I started just listening to the Strokes, and then I was like, oh man, I'm doing this album completely wrong. I gotta start all over. And then so at that point, like I was just like, okay, what can I do? Like I should just write all these new songs that sound like the Strokes. But then but then I just after I got over like being obsessed with them, I was like, okay, that's not a good idea. So I guess like those three albums were pretty big when I was listening to it. I think I just have like a very permanent influence by like Radiohead. I listened to a ton of Def Jam when I was in high school, so I think that's always like fixed into my influences. And yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like a lot of things came and went. Definitely a lot of Beatles and Radiohead though. I just figured like, cause I'm a I'm a downloader myself, so to say I'd be hypocritical to say like, yeah, you can't download my album, but I'll download other people's albums. So I just figured like, you know what, pay what you want. If you want to support me or support the whole band, then go for it and like pay like however much money. Um, or if you just want to download it like I do, like go for it. Like so long as we're getting more exposure and more people are listening to us, I think that's the main goal right now. I think to enter the music industry thinking that you're going to be making profit from the start is the wrong mentality. So yeah, I think that's how it kind of ended up being. Oh yeah, sure. So I used to be in this band called Post Historic back in college. It was like a few years ago, and so like half of the material came from that band, and then that band eventually broke up, and so I was left with this material that I wrote, and then so graduated college, I was working, and I wanted to do some sort of album, and I wasn't sure what. So I had the material, wrote some new material, and then in my basement I had some recording gear. So over like 7 months, I think, I just recorded all that stuff, and I decided to make it an LP, and I put it out. And after that happened, then I asked, Tim and Zach and a couple other people to join the band, and like the members have been rotating since then.
Our drummer Zach, we played in a band called Piston Hurricane. That was like our high school band, and also went to college too. That's actually kind of how I met Yusu. Zach, or my other roommate Pat, who's also played with Yusu a few times. I think he was filling in on bass for a post-historic show or something like that. And so Zach and I played a ton in high school and college, and my friend Pat and I played a lot too. Kind of like when we were in college, a bunch of our friends just played in each other's bands, so it was always like, that's how we hung out, just like practicing with people and like going to their shows to support them. But the longest band I was ever before this was Piston Hurricane. I had another band called Robots Counterfeiting Money, which was more or less like Champaign or Urbana based. And that's my friend Pat's band, but it's more of like a fun band than like a serious band.
I made it a goal that I wanted to like try to become a successful musician somehow, and so like I graduated, and I figured like, oh, I could work a full-time job and then I can develop my music career. And it's like not possible. Like I just did not have any time to do it. At some point when I was like mixing the album, I would like go to work, and then I would sleep at like 2 or 3 when mixing, and then I would go to work late, and then eventually yeah, it just like didn't work out. But the whole time, yeah, like my main goal was, try to get a band going, try to get some sort of like exposure, and eventually try to move to a larger and larger level. And with that, like I would have to play live. So like Zach, I knew from the last band, Post Historic. So it was just like very natural for me to ask him to play. And then Tim knew Zach, they knew each other, and then so I asked him if he wanted to play. And then the other two original members I actually worked with, so I asked them to join. It was just like just trying to find people who could play shows at that moment, without really considering if they wanted to take it really seriously or not, because I just wanted to get everything going as soon as possible. I had this goal to like, alright, I'm gonna try to like do as much as I can in like 2 years, and now I'm like, alright, maybe 3 years, or maybe 4 years, but we'll see.
The old 5-year plan.
Yeah, the old 5-year plan, yeah. Yeah, we're actually gonna play 2, right? 2 new songs
Yeah.
at our next show at Lincoln Hall. So that's gonna be exciting. We're just like trying to figure out how to write together. It's kind of a weird feel-out process, especially with 5 people. But so far okay. I mean, like it's been like what, like either come in with a song or we'll just jam together.
Yeah, like the fastest way that it gets done is like someone will come in, usually used to, with like 70 or 80% of something finished, and like the rest of us will kind of pick it apart and add parts and take away parts, and like it can go anywhere from like a few weeks to, I don't know, a month or 2 before we're finally like really happy with something. And it's cool that like we have recording equipment, so we can just press record, and for each practice session we just record the whole time and listen the next day or 2, and every once in a while we'll hear something we like, which will become a song.
Yeah. So yeah, Tim and I actually run a studio right now in my family's basement where we practice. So it's cool. Like that'll be our practice space, and we just set up all the gear for recording. We'll just jam for a while and like find some stuff that we like. And one of the songs we're playing this Wednesday is actually like a result of that, where we just happened to play and we're like, oh, that was actually pretty cool, and then like we kind of crafted it together. It's still being worked out, but I think like it's pretty close to being finished. Enough to play it live and like mess around with it to see. Yeah, it's exciting so far. Hopefully we'll get something out maybe late this year, sometime next year. I don't know.
We're Hemmingbirds.